Hi, my name is Lindy Moore. I will be talking to you today about a program called Education for Employment that I've been implementing in Scarborough High School for about 6 years now.
And I'm Betsy Morrison, and I'm a transition consultant for several school districts here in southern Maine.
Education for Employment, or we call it EFE, um, has been around in Scarborough High School for probably 10 years, and I've been doing it for about 6 years and fine tuning it as I go. Basically, it combines school and job and community into one. And this is a non-paid employment program for students with disabilities to work in the Scarborough community.
Lindy, can you speak a little bit about the profile of the students that you serve?
Sure. My students in my classroom, this is an academic life skills classroom, so the students have moderate to severe disabilities, wide range of disabilities too, autism, Down syndrome, um, some OHI, all sorts of disabilities.
Thanks.
So basically, the focus of EFE is for students to gain some work experience um, and also to learn job skills too, and just to really see how it's like in the real world working.
So, do students, maybe I'm jumping ahead of it, Lindy, but do students, all students rotate through particular jobs or?
Yes, they do. All students, twice a year, all students rotate through a job. And so hopefully by the time they graduate from high school, they've gone through 8 different jobs.
Great.
So some of the jobs that our students have done in the Scarborough community are the police station, uh, the car wash, pizza places, grocery stores, libraries, nursing homes.
Who develops the job sites?
I've developed some of the job sites. Some of my ed techs have developed the job sites, and some of the job sites have been developed prior to me being the teacher in this classroom.
Have you found that the community and the employers have been receptive to giving it a try? Or?
Absolutely. The Scarborough community is very close. So they are absolutely, once we explain the program to them, they're very open towards it. And another goal of EFE is for the students to develop positive work habits. I would say this is probably the most important goal. And so we have a lot of expectations of our students, and they are actually scored on a rubric scale when they come back from their job. And we're looking for skills, work habits such as promptness, ability to follow directions, how they can complete a task, how many prompts they need to complete a task, how they dress at work, because we have expectations that they'll dress just like a regular person dresses at work, whether they keep track of time, how they talk to their supervisors, other work habits like that.
So you said you keep track of that. So your ed techs take data on that, so the students can measure their progress.
Absolutely. So the job coach or ed tech that goes with them is familiar with the student, and they will score the student in each one of these categories when they come back. And it's a rubric scale from 1 to 4, and it's based on prompting.
Based on prompting for the particular
Task.
task.
Yes. So, for example, let's say it took you 3 prompts to start your job. That would be on a scale, that would be a 3 on the rubric scale.
That's great.
So it also introduces specific job skills too to students. And some of those job skills that students have done are, basic skills, stocking shelves, shredding, food preparation, bagging groceries, which is a really popular one for our students, elderly assistance. Some students have actually gone in nursing care and have worked during lunchtime to feed the older people, and clerical assistant, things like that.
So,
So pretty basic job skills.
so the other slides spoke about transferable skills, work habits, and this one is around the specific jobs at the site.
Exactly, exactly.
Did the students get to choose which ones they go to?
No, it's chosen for them. So whether students definitely have preferences where they like to go, but we want to make sure that they get a lot of variety of skills, so we choose for them. And we don't, because of their disability, you might think that they're not going to be able to do a certain job, but we put them in that job to see what they can do, and they have surprised us on what they can do. So that's a good point. It's just because you think a student, may have a physical disability that will prohibit them from doing the job you think, it's not always the case. They might surprise you, and they might be able to do the job really well.
And might surprise themselves.
And surprise themselves. So by going to all these different job sites, they're really getting hands-on experience into what it's really like to work at a job. And so students find this very meaningful and transferable into the real world. And it's really great that they are able to really be able to have a job when they're done with high school, and they know what's expected of them, and they know what their responsibilities are. So as I told you before, the students are evaluated when they come back from the work site on the rubric scale that we have. And so for some of the students, this is a goal on their IEP as well. It's in two areas. It's in the transitional area, and it's also on their instructional goal.
Within the other body of the IEP.
Yes, yes, with objectives if needed. Students also fill out a weekly time card, and they have to add it up at the end of the month too. And they actually practice signing their name, so they know how to do that. And they also fill out a reflection form that has a self-rating. And this reflection form tells them to, or asks them to tell me what was challenging for them at the job and how they can improve on this challenge. And we work through all of these with them to give them ideas as well.
So that to me speaks about sort of using that as part of the rest of your curriculum.
Definitely, definitely. This program ties into to my curriculum. I do a lot of job training in my curriculum. Okay, so how this works for our school is every Wednesday afternoon after lunch, students get bused by the Scarborough Bus Department to each job site. They are at the job site for approximately 1 hour, and then they come back, and for the rest of the day we do work on all their writing materials. So this is actually part of their curriculum, and no matter what classes they have scheduled for that afternoon, whether it's ceramics or mainstream science or any other classes, this program takes precedent over any other class that they have. And all the teachers in the other classrooms are very supportive of this program as well.
Can you speak a little bit about two things, Lindy? One is how is the transportation department, how do you work with the transportation department to make that it all flow?
I really set it up in the beginning of the year before even the students get here, and it's always on Wednesdays. It's always at the same time, and the bus drivers really know all the sites really well, and the school is liable. So the school, the job sites are not liable for the students, and it's really great because they're not going in people's cars, and it's more safe that way.
And can you speak also about the level of administrative support?
Yeah, the administrators are very, very supportive of the program, at central office to the high school, and whatever I really need, they offer to me.
Lindy, as we've gone through the slides, it's raised a couple of extra questions, so just hoping that I can ask those and we can walk through those a little bit.
Absolutely.
Can you speak a little bit about what you see as outcomes? What are the benefits of participating in a program like this for the students?
Sure. One of the benefits is all my students have a portfolio, and this is volunteer work in their portfolio on their resume. So certainly if they go to apply for a job, they can use this as part of their application process. The other thing too is some of my students have gone to Strive University, and this looks very good on their application as well. Certainly any of the skills that they use in their jobs are transferable into the real world. Confidence, teaching responsibility is two ideas.
Is there an additional cost for the district to operate a program like this?
No, there isn't. It's absolutely free. We use the Scarborough School transportation, and it doesn't cost us anything at all.
Are there any ways that you're able to recognize employers, or how do you handle sort of the give and take with employers?
Oh, we love our employers. So every year, right around Thanksgiving time, we have a big Thanksgiving feast to give thanks to them. And the students and all the teachers get together and we cook everything for the community members, and they all come into the classroom and we celebrate. It's very nice.
Sounds like a great recognition. Have you kept the same job sites, Lindy, over the time that you've been working in the program? Is it always the same job sites? How do you handle that part?
We do try to get new job sites. Certainly some of the students have expressed interest in working at nursing homes, so we try to go and get like that type of job site for them, what their interests are, depending on what's in their transition plan, what they're interested in. So they do change, and how I usually get the job sites is I usually call them up. That's the first thing. Call them up and tell them about the program, see if they'd be interested. And I also tell them about all the other job sites in the community too. And then I follow up with a letter to explain it in more detail.
And it sounds as though they've been quite receptive.
They have. I haven't had anybody deny me yet.
Sounds like a really valuable program for your students, Lindy.
I think it's probably the most valuable program that I do.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Absolutely, thank you. And if you have any more questions, you can certainly contact me. And if you would like to actually observe the class, the EFE class, you may give me a call and I can provide that for you. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Lindy.